5.53% in less than 24 hours. And this was one order on Tuesday. I bought a put, limit order on the 221 expiration, and that was 1338 for one contract. Bought it on the 19th. And here's the time of day, very important. This is right before the macro time on the afternoon, Tuesday. Sold this Wednesday morning. And what time of day? 10 minutes after New York Open, 9:40. 1338 buy, 1486 sell. Less than 24 hours. Let's look at how I did it watching futures charts. How did I do this trade? What was the logic behind the trade on the entry and the exit? So this was Monday's chart. We started off not trading. Number one, the higher time frame. This is the weekly on the left on the December futures. Higher time frame tell price being held basically 55 minutes into the New York Open. Look at that small little with the red arrow, green candle. That's horrible. I don't want to be a part of that. And that's the time of day. If I was going to trade, I trade. And higher time frame said not happening. So I got no problem bypassing Monday. On the right side, you see the daily, same thing. We're below the 3 EMA, but again, I don't like the looks of the candle. It's all about looking, is this high resistance liquidity or low resistance liquidity? And it looked to me high resistance. Price was being kept in a very tight margin, and it was not moving. So bypass Monday. Let's go to Tuesday and Wednesday for the setup on the options trade. Okay, like timing the calendar, economic calendar, earnings calendar, known events that catalyze, that is the stimulus in the recipe to have volatility. Traders need volatility. So when is that? That's going to be mostly Wednesday. You can see here we've got Nividia earnings after the close, but there's going to be some manipulation prior to that. Thursday, two catalyst times, 8:30 a.m. and 10 a.m., and then Friday, 3 times. So looking forward to Thursday and Friday as I shoot this video here. We're in between the close after Nividia and before the open on the catalyst events on Thursday. Time, price, location, and price range. So the setup for the option trade going long a put was this red arrow down here. I watched this steep decline happen before the New York Open. And you can see here the price with a candle wick, discount wick with this red arrow, hit this purple just barely. From that point on, it was a continuation rally that lasted from pre-New York Open, New York AM Open, all the way into lunch, into the open range for afternoon. And what was real important was this range was huge, almost 100 handles, depending on if you were looking at March futures or December contract futures, but it was a lot. So we had a range, we had location on the low, and then we had traveled all the distance, and we had the continuation. So in this zone, the double confirmation for me was we had a high time frame daily fair value gap at the top. So we reached into this yellow. We didn't get into it on regular trading hours on Tuesday into that consequent encroachment. But the point is we did get in there. So this was a good probable location. I liked the time. I liked the range. So once I was in the trade, basically Tuesday PM session, I just had to wait for the next day. So hold overnight. This was all this price action here. Look at how it just was flatlining. Now, I will point out the first chart I showed you was the December contract futures. This is the ESP 500 micro futures contract. This one's March. Doesn't matter. It's the same setup. The setup was we hit a low, we had range, we had time. It was a pretty big range. And then the next thing was we had a news event coming at the end of Wednesday. So I was looking for the manipulation before Nividia earnings. And sure enough, what happens? We open in the morning on this red arrow and just boom. So all this stuff, the manipulation happened overnight after the PM. This gray box, this was more or less the afternoon Tuesday of where the open range was for the afternoon session, and then all of Globex overnight, and then morning of Wednesday, boom, we opened down. So that's the trade highlights using futures charts to trade options. Again, time first, price, location, and range. So here we are. I'm looking at a 15-minute contract of S&P 500 micro futures. This is the March 2025 contract. I'm not even looking at the December here, but I've got everything marked. I'm watching it like a hawk. I do follow the December too in tandem, but right now I'm trading off the March contract because I do swing trade at times. So I like to have options. So here we are. Let's look at it. We had Nividia earnings, okay? This was the close, this bar right up here, manipulation. I'll call that minor buy liquidity above it. We've got primary buy side liquidity because the prior day I mentioned, we already went over the options trade, how we had relative equal highs on the consequent encroachment of that daily fair value up here. Above this red line, that's my primary buy side liquidity if price wants to do it. It's all about what London does. But I'm not going to trade London because why? Because we've got the New York news catalyst, 8:30 a.m. and we've got a 10 a.m. Okay. The 15-minute fair value gap is something that I'm watching right now. And this is Asia that we're in right now. And we had the prior day first present 1 minute fair value gap coming in at 59.7075 by roughly 6,000.50. I'm going to watch that. So bottom line, this is give me my bias of where we go on price. Sell side liquidity is down here. We'll call it minor sell side liquidity right here. So again, the first part of that threshold on the upper portion of the sell side liquidity, 59.45. The mid consequent encroachment, 59.3250 and 59.20 on the lower portion. So again, this giant tan on the left side, daily fair value gap goes back on the week of the election, and consequent encroachment of that is 59.51. So a lot of levels here, a lot of levels. So for me, what I'm looking at is I'm not trading, I'm flat. I'm absolutely flat, 100%. And I'm going to stay flat until I see the impact of the news drivers on the economic calendar. I want to see what's price respect or disrespect these levels, these areas in balance, or liquidity levels on the buy side, liquidity levels on the sell side liquidities. That's a wrap. I've gone over the 5.54% ROI earned on the options and got to know when enough is enough. And that's it probably for the options. And the futures definitely going to be active because as I pointed out on the economic calendar, we're real busy with catalysts Thursday and Friday. Aloha, take care, and shout out to the viewers in the States, North America. I want to shout out to all the Filipinos and Indian viewers that I have. I really appreciate your subscription. Thank you so much for your support. Take care. Bye.